All right, consumer students. This is kind of like a lesson that we started in class, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of continue and probably go over some things again. Compound interest. We did simple interest, right? And we started compound interest. And again, the difference between the two is compound interest, you earn interest on the interest. Okay. Some key words you have to understand here. Anytime we calculate interest, right, we always have to change the percent to a decimal. That's number one. When we take in a percent and convert it to a decimal, we basically just take the percent divided by 100 and it gives us the percent as a decimal. That's number one. Number two, our time usually has to be in years. But when we talk about compounding, right, or compound interest either compounds like you can do daily, right? If it compounds daily, your time would be 1 day out of how many days are in a year? 365. If it compounds monthly, right, your time is going to be how many months are in a year? 1/12. If it's semi-annually, your time is going to be 6 out of 12 or 1/2/0.5. All right. Now, it's very important to understand how often it compounds, right? Because that tells you what time to use. So if it says it compounds daily, you would use 1/365. If it tells you it compounds monthly, you would use 1/12. Okay, so looking at the first example we did, right, in class, we talked about, real quick here, your principal is $756. Your rate was 2.25%. And if I divide that by 100, when I go to calculate it, I'm going to use 0.0225. Since it compounds monthly, right, I know my time is going to be 1/12. So the first period of interest here, I would take the 756, I'd multiply it by 0.0225 times, right, my time is 1/12. So when I go to calculate this, I can do 756 times 0.0225, right, times, in this calculator, if I hit alpha y equals, and then I hit enter for the first one, I can do 1/12. If I hit enter, it means I get $1, and if the 0.417 tells me to bump the 1 up to 2, so that'd be $1.42 in interest. Okay, now all I'm going to do now is take that. I'm going to take 756. I'm going to add the $1.42, and that's going to give me 757.42. Okay. Now the second period interest now, what you have to understand is now I'm going to use, this is my new principal. So when I go to do the next one, I'm going to start with my principal is now 757.42 times my rate does not change, 0.0225, times my time is still 1/12. Now, hypothetically, say my calculator doesn't have a fraction bar, right? I can enter it one of two ways. I can go 757.42 times 0.0225 times, and in parentheses do 1 divided by 12. When I hit enter, it gives me $1.42. So that'd be another $1.42. So my end balance after 2 months, I would get 757.42 plus the $1.42. And if I take that and add the 757.42, that would give me a final of 758.84. Okay. Now, say I didn't know how to put that fraction in. If I take 1 divided by 12, right, and I get this decimal. If you do it this way, I want to stress to you to include as many values after the decimal as you can. So when I go to do 757.42 times 0.0225 times, I'm going to try and carry as much as that in. So 0.08333333, right? And I can stop there and I'd still get the same answer. It's a little bit different, but it's close enough. So the next one, right? Our principal is 3750. Our rate is 1.75. And if I take 1.75 and I divide it by 100, I'm going to use 0.0175. Semi-annually tells me twice a year. And if I were to take twice a year means every 6 months. So 6 divided by 12 would be 1/2, or I could use 0.5. So semi-annually is 2 times a year, so every 6 months, and 6 out of 12 is 1/2, or 0.5. So now to calculate my first period of interest, I'm going to take the 3,750, multiply it by my rate, so 0.0175, and multiply it by my time of 0.5. When I do that in the calculator, right, 3,750 times 0.0175 times 0.5, that would give me $32, and 0.812 ends up being 0.81. Now I could take and figure out my new account balance by taking 3,750, add the 3,281, and that would give me a new balance of 3,782.81. So now when I calculate my next round of interest, this is the new principal. So I'm going to start with 3,782.81, multiply it by the 0.0175 times 0.5. That would give me interest of now $33.10. And if I take and add that to the 3,782.81, my new balance or final balance here would be 3,815.91. And if you look, the reason we like compound interest is the first period of interest, I earned $32.81, but because my principal went up after adding it, my next round of interest went up to $33.10. So I earned more money this second round. Okay, so let's take a look at a few more examples here. I'm going to jump to number 10 real quick because it's a little different. Then I'm going to have you guys try number 9 and then just go ahead and check your answer. Okay, so number 10. So Sally Crosby has 2,550, so that right there is your principal, right? So it's your principal. In a savings account that earns 1.75% interest compounded quarterly. And remember, quarterly is every 3 months, and 3 out of 12 or quarterly is 0.25. So for your time, you're going to use 3 over 12, which is 1/4 or 0.25. So the first 3 months, right? So I'm not going to earn interest until the third month is over. So my interest I earn would be the principal, 2,550, times the rate, which is 0.0175, times the time, we're going to use 0.25. When I multiply this out, right? So 2,550 times 0.0175 times 0.25, right? That would give me $11, and that's going to be 16 cents. So $11.16. Now I'm going to take the principal, 2,550, add the $11.16, that would give me $2,561.16. So the next round of interest is going to be 3 months later. And that round is going to start with a principal of 2561.16 multiplied by the rate of 0.0175 times the time now, again, is still going to be 0.25, right? Or if you think about it, it's 3 out of 12, whatever one you use. When I multiply this, so we're going to take 2561.16 multiplied by 0.0175 times 0.25. Right away, I get $11.21. Okay, because this tells me to round it up to 21. So now my final balance is going to be, after 6 months, 2,561.16 plus the 1121 gives you a final balance of $2,572.37. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is try number 9 and then come back and check your answers. Number 9 is here, right? Go ahead, check your answer over, pause the video, check your answer, and go ahead and start the homework.